Okay. Hello, dear friends. Good evening. Such a beautiful, beautiful evening. Let's continue to read this book, The Iliad, Homer, by Gillian Cross. Greeks on the run. The next morning, Zeus watched as the two armies woke and prepared to fight. At sunrise, the Greek chariots charged through the strong new gates and down onto the plain. Immediately, the Trojan chariot flew out of the city to meet them. Metal clashed as the two armies met, and the soldiers below bellowed their war cries at one another. Bellow. I always see the word bellow. Okay, maybe as I'm searching online for the meaning of bellow, we will take this opportunity to bellowed, 波纹管怒吼 they shout at each other. I will take this opportunity to just add something. Sometimes I myself, I doubt, and every day I read 20 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, something, read one story. I try to make as much as I can. And sometimes it's becoming quite a burden or something. So I got friends commenting or advising, you are you do not need to force yourself too much. Make it as if you are a public publishing house, as a big thing, which is very true. So I stopped. I do not force myself to do it. But on the other hand, making myself a goal or making myself a particular desire to read it and to keep on reading it every day, it helped me to improve myself. And I can learn the language, I can learn about the story, and I can make you fall asleep because this is so boring. Yeah, a lot of time I do hesitate. I make $2 out of this hard working. No, no, this is not, you know me. It's not about money. Do not feel pressure. It's just a lot of time something pay you in another way. Maybe in the mental way, maybe in the spiritual way. By reading this book, spending a lot of time making not viewable real currency, real money in it, maybe I have gained a lot of good blessing, at least knowledge, this is for sure. And it also makes me want to make story. After I finished reading those books, which is a goal to finish them, after I finished reading, it will be time for me to make up my own stories. And I do have many stories. I'm sorry to distract you a little bit. Let's go back to this book. Metal clashed. Metal clashed as the two armies met, and soldiers bellowed their war cries at one another. Soon screams ran across the plain, and the earth was red with blood. Wow. Neither army would give ground. Soldier, we do not give ground. But at midday, Zeus took out his golden scales and held them high. Into one pan he put death for the Trojans. In one pan he put death for the Trojans. Into the other, death for the Greeks. Holding the balance steady, he waited to see which death carried more weight. Slowly, inexorably, the Trojan side rose into the air, and the Greek side sank down towards the earth. Oh my goodness. Zeus, he used a lever, he used a balance. This side is death of Trojan, this side is death of Greeks, and he will see which one wins. And later on, the Trojan is lighter, they have less death, and the Greeks is going down, they have more death. Wow. Zeus, I don't like Zeus. He is gambling on people's life. Oh, I don't like him. Slowly, inexorably. Zeus acted at once. His thunder rolled over the Greek army, and he sent a flash of lightning, slicing down among its soldiers. The Greeks were terrified. They knew that Zeus was against them, and they lost all hope of winning that day. Turning their chariots towards the ships, they raced back to safety behind their new wall. But old Nestor couldn't retreat. Paris had shot one of his chariot horses in the head. The poor animal was writhing, thrashing its hooves as it tried to dislodge the arrow. Nestor was left all on his own, stranded in the middle of the battlefield. Oh, wow. He jumped out of his chariot and slashed at the wounded animal's rein, trying to cut the other horses free. Hector saw him and seized the chance to attack. He snatched the rein from his charioteer and turned his own horse quickly, urging them across the battlefield. With his other hand, he held his spear up, ready to strike. Diomedes spotted what was happening. He shouted an order to his charioteer. and they turned and raced towards Nestor. As he went, Diomedes bellowed to Odysseus, "Stop running away! Nestor needs our help. We must save him from that Trojan savage." He was wasting his breath. Odysseus couldn't hear him above the turmoil of the battlefield. Diomedes realized that he would have to save Nestor on his own. Sweeping towards the old king's chariot, he called down to him, "Leave the charioteer to cut your horses free, while we go and deal with Hector. We will teach him a lesson." "Leave the charioteers to cut your horses free, while you go and deal with Hector. We will teach him a lesson." Diomedes' charioteer jumped down, and Nestor leaped eagerly into his place. Taking up the rein, he turned the horses around, with Diomedes beside him, ready to attack. As soon as they were near enough, Diomedes threw his spear at Hector's charioteer, killing him instantly. Hector was devastated to see his charioteer fall to the ground, but there was no time to mourn. Diomedes and Nestor were heading towards him at top speed. Snatching at the rein, he pulled his horses to a stop and yelled for someone else to come and drive his chariot. Diomedes' chariot swung around. He was ready to attack again, but Zeus had other plans. There was a terrifying clap of thunder, and a bolt of lightning hit the ground, right in front of Diomedes' horses. He sheeted and skittered back, and Nestor dropped the rein in terror. "Zeus is against us," he shouted. "We must get back to the ships. We must get back to the ships. We don't stand a chance of winning today." Diomedes was horrified. "You are asking me to run away from Hector? Do you want him to call us cowards? Who cares what he calls us? Everyone knows you are not a coward." "Nestor, this is so wise. This is so wise. Do not use other people's logic to trap yourself. You are a good guy. Nobody say you bad makes you bad. You are not a good guy. No way you can change it." Nestor is really a wise man. Nestor picked up the rein again and turned the horses, sending the chariot racing towards the shore. Hector gave a triumphant roar. "You are a weakling, Diomedes, a rag doll. I'll see you down in Hades with the dead before you break into Troy." Diomedes grabbed the rein. He would have pulled the chariot around and charged at Hector, but a second crack of thunder made him think again. Dropping his hand, he let Nestor whip up the horses. They raced back to the wall, with the Trojan chariots close behind them. Nestor is smart. We do not need to sacrifice our life. We do not need to risk our life for the sake of fighting. Our goal is not fighting. Our goal is to win the war, to finish the war. We have a bigger goal than just fighting today. Galloping through the gates, they found themselves in a wild tangle of horses and harnesses. The Greek chariots were crammed in among the ships, and the soldiers were scurrying around in a panic. They thought the Trojans would come sweeping in through the gates before there was time to pull them shut. Agamemnon jumped onto the prow of Odysseus' ship, holding a great purple cloak. Purple cloak. Again, purple is a royal color. It's an important color, right? He waved it in the air to catch everyone's attention. "Shame on you all," he yelled. "When we first came here, we boasted about how many Trojan you were going to kill. What's happened to all that spirit? Are you going to let our enemies overrun the beach without even trying to fight back?" He lifted his arms to heaven, calling out desperately to Zeus. "Mighty Father, remember all the sacrifice I have made to you, and hear my prayer. Save our lives." Zeus did hear him, and he sent a sign. A huge eagle came flying overhead, carrying a young deer. As it flew over the Greek camp, the eagle dropped the deer right next to the altar where Agamemnon made his sacrifice to Zeus. When they saw that, the Greeks turned to fight again. They attacked so fiercely that the Trojans were driven away from the wall and back across the trench. Hastily, the gates were closed and barred behind them. For that night, at least, the Greek army was safe. But Hector knew he had the upper hand, and he didn't mean to lose it. He wouldn't allow his soldiers to retreat into the city. Instead, he told some of them to collect firewood and send others back into Troy to fetch supplies. He ordered them to make camp out on the plain between the city and the Greek ships. That night, 1,000 campfires burned on the battlefield. The air was filled with the crackle of flame and the smell of roasting meat. 50 men feasted around each campfire. Beside their chariots, the horses stood ready, munching barley and rye to give them strength for the next day. Hemmed in between the wall, the Greeks could hear their enemies rejoicing. They were filled with fear as they looked across at the red glow of the campfire, drowning out the stars. Drowning out the stars.